I'm Nick Kessler, and I teach shop.
And I'm Brian Fulmer, Nick's buddy and fellow teacher.
When summer comes, we drop the lesson plans and absorb what the open road has to offer.
We hit the highways and byways and drop in on some unexpectedly fantastic places to visit for great getaways.
And we do it in style, riding in my 1968 drop-top Caddy.
Our assignment is to give you an inside look on the places we go and the people we meet.
No classroom rules here.
That's right, this is Road Trip Masters.
This week, we're climbing in the Caddy and riding her down to good old Williamsburg, Virginia.
Founded in 1607, it's located on the Virginia Peninsula, nestled between the York and James Rivers.
But before we get on the open road, we gotta take her down to my good buddy's garage, Bruce Klein, where we check the oil, rotate her Cooper tires, and then we're Williamsburg bound.
Bruce, how's the cat?
Oh, it's good, Nick. We changed the oil today and greased it.
More importantly, how are them Cooper tires?
Oh, the Cooper tires are great. I went over to White Walls today and checked the tire pressures. You're good to go, Nick.
Now, often when people think of Williamsburg, they think of colonial Williamsburg, where the 18th century comes to life before their very eyes.
Yeah, or they'll think of Busch Gardens, which has been voted the world's most beautiful theme park by the National Amusement Park Historical Association every year since 1990.
And those places are great, but we're blazing our own trail.
Brian, you know Williamsburg history dates back to 1607?
You think I don't know that? That's why I got us these tricorn hats.
Hey.
I'm telling you, we're gonna fit right in.
Hey, they have anything else there?
Yeah, a couple crimson jackets they were out of stock of, but they promised me the red coats are coming.
One by land.
Tooth by sea.
Let's roll on to our destiny.
Our accommodations for this road trip? The Kingsmill Resort, the only AAA 4-diamond condominium resort in historic Williamsburg, where we received first-class treatment. And then I had to turn the caddy keys over. Jake, she's all yours now.
Yeah, wow.
What do you think?
Beautiful. Look at that view.
Gorgeous. James River.
Welcome to Kingsmill.
How you doing?
How are you guys doing?
Oh, we're doing excellent. Brian?
We're ready to check in.
Good. Well, I don't mean to be your advisor, but lose the tricorn hat.
Oh, ho.
Tri-visor.
All right.
All right, here you go. Now, what's with this color?
I love it. Fits perfect.
Much better.
Like a robin's egg blue, I would say.
John is the COO at Kingsmill.
We have all different types of room types, from very basic rooms where you can have a king bed or a double bed. You can bring your family here. We have accommodations to stretch to 1-bedroom suites, 2-bedroom suites, up to 4-bedroom suites. We can accommodate whatever your desire is. But I think what really makes the resort extraordinary is the river that you see behind us.
Oh,
you know, the connectivity to the James River is beyond belief. This is one of the rare places where the sun rises and sets on the river, which is absolutely incredible. You know, it's not a rare occurrence to wake up and walk out of your cottage in the morning or look out your window and see a family of deer or many other species of wildlife.
And if you want to play great golf on the Atlantic seaboard, this place has it. The Plantation course is designed by Arnold Palmer, and the renowned golf designer Pete Dye designed the river course.
There's one that we are particularly proud of, and that's the 17th hole of the river golf course. We call it the most historic 177 yards in golf.
Now, why is that?
Well, the original settlers, Captain Smith, actually landed on this property prior to going to Jamestown in 1607. It's something that's not widely known, but we're very proud of.
Sometimes, the good people at Kingsmill will even take in a wandering water nomad. This guy, Steve, he set out to kayak the entire James River in 3 weeks, and he's 2.5 weeks into the voyage.
Perfectly situated, and so I called up and said, hey, can I pitch a tent on your beach? And of course, you said no, but you could stay and have a hot shower, and so of course I'm happy to be here. That's I can act like a civilized person.
Good for Steve, and good for us too. John, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Looking forward to our stay here.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely beautiful, and you do a fine job here. Thank you so much. Brian, what do you think of Kingsmill?
It's fantastic. But I'm about to check out one of Greater Williamsburg's favorite dining spots.
Hey, before you do, you gotta lose the hat.
No problem. I already have it covered.
Hound's tail.
Woof woof, my friend. Steve Sow is executive chef at the Hound's Tail, where their menu theme is street fare from around the world.
Hey, Chef Stevie, how you doing?
I'm well, Brian. Nice to see you.
Thanks for having us.
Nice hat.
Ah, tell you what, good fit.
Today we're cooking our skirt steak, right? This is one of our best-selling dishes. So we just season it with salt and pepper, both sides. And because there's so much fat in this item, we just put a little bit of olive oil on it, right? Because otherwise we'll get some flare up on the grill.
Next, he preps up some Brussels sprout hash.
Oyster mushrooms, medium mushrooms, and shiitake mushrooms. We roast them off in a little bit of extra virgin olive oil and salt and pepper, and then we're gonna do a little bit better here and add them to the pan.
Great.
So we start with the potatoes. We add our Brussels sprouts, because we want color on them. And then we give it a toss. We season them, salt and pepper. And then last, we add the mushrooms. And we're gonna let this sit for a second so we can get some color on the bottom. It's gonna get a little crispy, like a hash, right? All right, Brian, steak is ready. We're gonna head back over to the cutting board.
Great.
The romesco sauce is an Italian puree of tomatoes and onions, and it always has bread in there and has a lot of basil in there, and I add sherry vinegar to mine. I add a little bit of puree to the bottom, and then we add the steak setup to the dish.
Then, Chef Steven finishes it with a layer of chimichurri.
Fan it out on top of the setup, and then we have our chimichurri. That's parsley, oregano, thyme, bay leaf, and garlic and shallots, lemon juice, and extra virgin olive oil. And this is our grilled skirt steak.
Oh man, does that look great. Tell you what, I'm gonna meet you in the dining room.
I'll meet you there.
Wow, Stevie, how'd you get here so fast?
I know my way around here pretty well by now.
Who do we have here?
My wife, Monique.
Steve and Monique met in culinary school, and beyond sharing the kitchen at the Hound's Tail, they also share a daughter with a newborn due at any moment.
We kind of split shift our work hours. I do the morning and he does the afternoon.
I open the restaurant at night, and then she goes home and picks up the child and puts him to bed and bathes him and does all the hard part. So I got it good.
You sure do, Steve. It appears that you and the team at Hound's Tail are indeed taking a bite out of the Williamsburg culinary scene. But what about the name?
Okay, the Hound. So Don and Jerry the owners, have a humongous Great Dane. His name is Harley, and he is definitely the mascot of the restaurant, and you can see his picture everywhere, including on the sign up front.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Thank you for coming.
And congratulations, Smoky.
Thank you very much.
You going to mug me?
I'm not going to mug you.
Is that gorgeous or what, eh?
And I believe I can run a decent marathon.
Thank you very much.
Download Veely now.
After this pit stop,
Road Trip Masters goes back to where U.S. history began in historic Jamestown.
Then later, we feed our need for mead.
All that and more to come.
You're sitting shotgun with...
Welcome back to RTM on our Greater Williamsburg road trip.
Well, we're gonna ditch the tricorns, and we're gonna check out an archaeological site here at historic Jamestown.
Archaeological? I could dig that, buddy.
All right, well, here you go.
All right. After you. For 2 decades, the Jamestown Rediscovery Archaeological Project has brought to vivid life the stories of early James Fort. Mariana and Dave are the senior staffers on site.
Do you, Nick, wish to learn about the birthplace of American history?
I do.
And do you, Brian, want to learn about the importance of Jamestown in America's past?
I do.
Well, let's do it, guys. All right, here we are in the chancel of the 1608 church. And right here in front of us, John Rolfe and Pocahontas in 1614 got married. Right in front of this chancel rail.
Right here?
Right here. This is the Ellis Island of English North America, and the people coming through here, it's pretty important to them.
And they always see a lot of visitors who want to walk in the footsteps of the colonists of the past.
For those of you that think that America is younger than Europe, you're not considering Native American ancestry.
Places like Spain, Russia, other places, they're much older, right? They go back much deeper in terms of European settlement, okay? Virginia Indians, we go back 15,000 years.
Mariana takes us back to the very beginning of U.S. history.
We are standing inside a memorial building that was built over the ruins of 3 historic churches at Jamestown. So these are the ones that stood here from 1617 until the 1750s. Okay, the earliest church that was built here was a wooden structure, and we have documents that tell us the important events that took place. The main one that took place in here was the meeting of the first government in this country, the General Assembly. So we had 22 burgesses who were all representing their little part up and down the James River near Jamestown, and they came here to this church on July 30th, 1619.
Back then, believer or non-believer, everyone went to church.
Anyone who was at Jamestown would have met and convened in this building, at least for worship services. But also, government and church and state are not split at the time. So your government is meeting in this building as well. It's the most convenient space at the time.
And church wasn't only for the living, because if you were wealthy enough,
a lot of the high status individuals would pay a lot of money to be buried inside the church. It's very sacred ground, and you wanted to be as close as you could be to the altar in a lot of cases. So a lot of the chancel here behind us to the east is full of graves.
Just a few feet from where the church stands, Mariana and team are unmasking a cellar kitchen from the early 1600s.
They would stick in little kindling and so forth, fire it up. The interior of that oven space would absorb the heat, and then after that burned down to ash, you'd scrape it onto the floor, and that's what I'm standing on. Is every time someone used these ovens, they were scraping the kindling that had burned down onto the floor. So you can see the burning up here at the top of this, and then this brick kind of facade in the front of the oven.
So how do you tell the difference in time periods once the relics are discovered?
A lot of it's pottery, which changes over time, just like automobiles change today. Everybody can tell the difference in 50 years of time in your automobiles. The same thing happens back then. Pottery forms change, and so a lot of what our curators are good at is looking at a piece of ceramic and saying, this is the type of jug it came from, or the type of bowl, and that was used between this period and this period. Sometimes you're lucky enough and you get a coin, and so after this date is when this was filled in.
Our boy Dave does us a solid.
So it's one thing to talk about the artifacts and all that, but why don't we go see some of the things we find, because that is what the past is really about, seeing the actual things that the colonists owned and worked with over time.
Now entering the vault.
These artifacts that are in front of you are out of John Smith's well, which was dug in 1608 and 9 and backfilled in 10. We can listen to this thing. You hear that noise?
I do.
That's the sound that Pocahontas heard when she was in the fort, because this went up and down, drawing water out. That's the thing that archaeology affords you. You actually can listen to the past. This is the original Bermudian top shell, and it was brought over here as food or as a collector item. And here's a 3D printed version that you can actually hold.
That's exactly it.
Yep, that one's over 400 years old, and that one is
4 months.
4 months, yeah.
Modern technology.
Love it.
Coming up next on Road Trip Masters, we'll try not to speed
as we discover Honey Mead.
So just sit back, you'll see us kayak
when Road Trip Masters return.
Welcome back to RTM. We're road tripping in Williamsburg, Virginia, and we're about to go full speed and taste some mead at the Silver Hand Meadery.
Yes, indeedery.
Glenn, how you doing, buddy?
Good, welcome. How are you?
Glad to be here.
Yes, absolutely.
You guys look great, except for these hats.
What about?
What's going on with the hats? So we've got some better hats for you.
All right.
How about this? So we've got our fancy dancy meadery trucker hat for you.
Hey, I'll be glad.
There we go. You need something to hold that hair in anyway.
You know what? You're right. I'm going to sit there and I'm going to run it right through. Classic
there you go.
style.
Nice.
Good suggestion. All right, there we go.
Glenn founded the Silver Hand Meadery.
So I got into beekeeping. I was also reading these old historical fiction novels where the Celtic warriors and Vikings come back from battle drinking their mead. I was like, hey, that's the same thing. So the natural intersection between historical fiction and beekeeping is mead. A traditional mead is just honey, water, and yeast. And so we're gonna blend the water with the honey, and that's gonna get us to the right sugar concentration, more akin to like a grape juice. And then at that point, we'll add yeast to it, and the yeast will go to work. So over the course of weeks and months, we'll end up with this ancient fermented beverage known as mead or honey wine.
And of course, different types of honey make different tasting mead.
So, you put a beehive in an orange grove, you're going to get orange blossom honey. You put a beehive in an avocado grove, you're going to get avocado blossom honey. Very different honeys. One's dark and tastes like molasses. The other one's kind of fruity like grapes and raisins. So that gives you two very different meads.
The Silver Hand is taking the lead to get the word out on mead.
You could say they're sowing the mead seed.
Because most people don't know what mead is, we're actually introducing people to honey as well, all these different varietals of honey. So we do honey tastings, and we follow that up with a mead tasting. We ask our guests to smell them. We take time trying to figure out, like you would with wine, what are you smelling in that honey? And then we taste it, and we talk about what you're smelling, what you're tasting.
Those aromas weren't very easy for me. I think I may need to address a possible injury of mine.
Could be, who knows?
Whose nose? My nose.
There he goes. Wow, this one has the aroma. Holy Louie. You can smell the aroma on this one, Glenn. A lot of thyme on that, and the rosemary. Bravo, my friend.
Here's the problem. I think my nose is broken.
Glenn, Brian's nose is broke. Obviously, he doesn't smell anything.
I'm starting to get worried here.
Gotta take it to the doctor.
I keep thinking, why can't I smell this stuff?
Well, at least the other tasters could appreciate every aspect of the honey and mead tasting experience.
I like the blueberry one. Just the taste of it, it was smooth and enough that I'll buy a bottle.
I like the mesquite. It's a taste I never had before.
Yeah, we've been honey connoisseurs for a little while now, so to know that they make an alcoholic beverage out of it, like, yeah. That's awesome.
I didn't say I didn't like it, I just said I couldn't smell it. Believe me, Glenn knows how much I like it.
We've got one in this tank here. It's called Strawberry Swing. It has a lot of like butterscotch flavor to it. So you get a little bit of that coming through, but lots of strawberry. Well done. You didn't waste time.
It's only a 22-minute show. We don't have a lot of time.
Glenn, you're our newest best friend.
I can honestly say it was great meeting you.
Well done. Well done. He finished strong.
When Road Trip Masters returns,
we navigate the same waters as Captain John Smith.
And we take one last swing at Kingsmill.
Stay seated. There's more Road Trip Masters ahead. Welcome back to Road Trip Masters. We're in the greater Williamsburg area at the Jamestown Marina. Brian, what are we doing here?
Well, today we're actually going to take some of the roads that Captain John Smith once traveled himself.
No problem. Got Caddy ready? Let's go.
No, Nick, not those type of roads. I'm talking water roads.
John is Director of Parks and Recreation in James City County. He hooks us up with a couple of kayaks, and within minutes, the three of us are navigating through storied waters.
John, we're on historic waterways, aren't we?
Yes, we are. This is the Powhatan Creek, leads into the James River. James River has the Chickahominy River, and we have the York River on the other side of the greater Williamsburg area. And all of those rivers were waterways that Captain John Smith traveled in the early 1600s.
You know, what I really love is the fact that you can walk, or in this case, paddle what our ancestors have done. Absolutely. You know, paddle through history, basically, in essence, is what we're doing.
Along our route, we noticed our nation's favorite feathered friend.
We're the largest habitat of bald eagles in Virginia, are in this peninsula area. And it's not uncommon to see 4 or 5 bald eagles when you're out on a day paddle up the Chickahominy or Powhatan Creek, and even the James River. They're beautiful.
And the cranes?
Cranes, we got the blue herring here, got abundant fishing.
With more than 30 years of parks and recreation experience, John understands the typical tourist mindset.
I think a lot of people don't know this exists. They think of Colonial Williamsburg and not the ecotourism part of it.
But being amidst so much natural beauty, that's changing.
And it's an outdoor mecca. We're starting to be known as a destination for outdoor recreation and not just historical.
Well, Captain John, I think we're ready to paddle back to the dock.
Absolutely. Let's turn and head to shore.
All right, let's roll.
Let's roll.
Well, or in this case, let's paddle.
Let's paddle. That's right.
So the list is complete as we roll out of town and say so long to Williamsburg.
Not quite, Nick. Remember?
There's one that we are particularly proud of, and that's the 17th hole of the River Golf Course. We call it the most historic 177 yards in golf.
Embarrassed on the tee off, there's no doubt. Embarrassed on my second shot. Oh, come on. Oh!
No! Brian, I'd really like another crack at that hole.
Did you say crack or hack?
I guess at that point, you would have to say it was a hack.
Good game. Tied. Yep, I would say so.
So now it's time to break down the Caddy triptych. Overall, we traveled 825 miles, used 69 gallons in fuel, and spent $171.81. Another successful road trip in the books.
Oh, I'm sad to say it's time to go.
Until next time, I'm Nick Kessler.
And I'm Brian Fulmer. Stay curious, my friends.
Safe travels. I'm Nick Kessler, and I teach shop.
And I'm Brian Fulmer, Nick's buddy and fellow teacher.
When summer comes, we drop the lesson plans and absorb what the open road has to offer.
We hit the highways and byways and drop in on some unexpectedly fantastic places to visit for great getaways.
And we do it in style, riding in my 1968 drop-top Caddy.
Our assignment is to give you an inside look on the places we go and the people we meet.
No classroom rules here.
That's right. This is Road Trip Masters.
This week on Road Trip Masters, we're cruising in the Caddy and riding her on down to East Tennessee and the greatest place in the Smoky Mountains for a weekend getaway, Pigeon Forge.
It's home to country music legend Dolly Parton, and this spectacular city is located in Sevier County between Gatlinburg and Sevierville.
Now we all know the Caddy has some miles on her. We're taking her to Bruce Klein's for a little checkup, where he inspects those massive drum brakes and then high-speed balances the Cooper tires. So we're floating and cruising smoothly down to our friends in eastern Tennessee.
You know, Nick, I've always been a big fan of the Smokies.
No kidding.
Smokey Robinson, Smokey and the Bandit, and my favorite, Smokey the Bear. And I think he's from these parts.
Any reason to wear a hat. So we cruise on down to the foothills of the Smoky Mountains, and we make our way to the Inn at Christmas Place, Pigeon Forge's award-winning hotel.
It's one fine hotel.
This place is ornate with Bavarian architecture and lushly landscaped gardens. But we're here in the middle of summer. There's no way.
We celebrate Christmas every day of the year.
Every day.
Every day. This Christmas tree behind us, it's here every day.
Janet Donaldson is the head elf.
Our check-in lobby with a full-size nativity above the front desk and a 15-foot Christmas tree. And the glockenspiel is right here across from us, and it's going to chime the hour and play carols at the top of the hour.
The luxurious amenities here make you feel like Christmas really can come in July.
Your grounds are impeccable. They're beautiful.
Thank you. Well, we have our own greenhouse.
You're growing everything and then
Yes.
planting it on the grounds.
Yes.
Wow, I've never heard of a place that did that.
In our courtyard, we have a couple of model trains that run around the set that, again, was built by our greenhouse folks. It has a couple of water fountains as well, and the train is a big hit with kids.
And at night, you'll be hard-pressed not to have visions of sugar plums dancing in your head.
Every room has a Christmas tree. You'll find some Hershey's Kisses on your countertop. How many hotels are you going to stay in that have a Christmas wreath hanging in the bathroom?
Well, that's true.
They even have a suite named after the jolly old elf himself.
It's our fanciest room, of course, where Santa stays when he's not at the North Pole. It's a two-room suite, so when you go in, there's a living room. Santa's chair is in front of the fireplace. Full-size Christmas tree there. There's a little kitchen in the corner. And then in the bedroom, there's a king-size bed, carved wood, another full-size Christmas tree. Santa leaves his suit hanging behind the door.
Oh, yeah?
And there's a jacuzzi in the corner.
Santa doesn't need a jacuzzi.
He and Mrs. Claus, they get cold. They like to come south and warm up a little.
And when he's here, Santa takes center stage.
There's 3 concerts a week. He'll be right here in front of this tree, singing and entertaining our guests and getting the kids to join in.
Located directly across the parkway from its namesake, the incredible Christmas Place is the largest permanent Christmas retailer in the American South.
Over 40,000 square feet, We have a shop that sells the world's best fudge. Ornaments, lights, trees. If it goes in, on, or under the tree, you'll find it at Christmas Play.
Well, I can't wait to check in. Looks
Wonderful.
absolutely beautiful here, and hopefully Christmas in July is going to set in mentally with me.
I know it will.
Hey, Brian, check out this hat I got at the incredible Christmas place.
Very festive. Hey, that's a holly jolly place and all, but what about Santa?
What about him?
Couldn't you get an interview with him?
Absolutely not. He's a busy man.
In July?
Oh, yeah. He was going through his naughty list, and he got hung up in the bees, Brian.
Let's not bother the man and all. There's plenty of other things to do here at Pigeon Forge, like visiting the Great Smoky Mountains National Park.
So we have over 10 million visitors every year, and last year was a record for us. We had 11.3 million visitors. It's over 500,000 acres and so many things for people to explore. We have over 300 miles of scenic roadways, and we have over 800 miles of trails, so people get the chance to get into the backcountry and experience it. The highest peak in Great Smoky Mountains National Park is Clingman's Dome. It's 6,643 feet high.
You're kidding.
You can actually drive to within a half a mile of it, and then you can walk up that last half mile on a paved walkway.
Visitors come from all over to see the flora and fauna of the Great Smoky Mountains.
People love to come to the Smokies to get a glimpse of the American black bear. We estimate we have over 1,600 black bears, so there's a good chance if you spend some time in the Smokies, you're going to get to see one.
The uncompromised beauty of the Smoky Mountains National Park is a sight to behold. Actually, it's many sights to behold.
We have over 2,000 miles of streams and many waterfalls. The tallest in the park is Ramsey Cascades. It stands at 100 feet. Whether you want to come and explore one of our cultural landscapes with over 100 historic structures, or you want to experience those scenic roadways or get out and hike one of the trails, the Smokies has something for everyone.
Including a section of the Appalachian Trail.
Dana, I'm battling a knee injury, but I still want to get involved in, for say, a hike in the park. What kind of levels do you have for us?
We have experiences where you can take a short half-mile hike and come to a historic structure like the Little Greenbrier Schoolhouse, or you can tackle the 70 miles of the Appalachian Trail that crosses the highest peaks of the Smokies.
Let's see, a half-mile hike to the schoolhouse or 70 miles on the Appalachian Trail?
Take me to school.
I'm the school marm here.
You're a school what?
School marm.
Not a teacher, just a school mom?
School marm.
Oh, marm.
You have to get used to this accent.
All right.
M-A-R-M, marm.
I feel like I'm in class already getting yelled at.
That's lesson number one. Lesson number two, stand in the corner.
The Marma set us up with some local history.
When this area was settled, which was in about the mid-1800s, people came in and started their farming.
The Marmot seems to really know her stuff. How old would we say that this structure, the schoolhouse, is?
This was built in 1881.
Okay.
So it's 136 years old. And it's in the original place.
Has it moved?
Hasn't moved. They built it here. It'll be here, hopefully, for another 136 years.
The Marma laid down even more history inside the schoolhouse.
Education in the mountains was not considered important. You had three things that were most important: food, water, shelter.
And the Marma duked it out with Nick after class.
Hold it. We threw in way too many marm puns. Marmoset, marmot, marmalade, Marmaduke? Really?
Hey, it's not an easy word to work with. Sorry if I caused you any marm. After this pit stop,
we check out what's new in the Old Mill District of Pigeon Forge.
Then later, we let gravity take its toll.
And how.
All that and more to come.
You're sitting shotgun with Road Trip Masters. Welcome back to Road Trip Masters and our Smoky Mountain journey in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee.
I did find out about the name origin and a whole lot else when I visited Pigeon Forge's iconic, the Old Mill. It was established in 1830, and today, nearly 200 years later, its original grist mill, which turns corn into grits and cornmeal, is still grinding away.
We grind over 600,000 pounds of product a year. We bake breads with it and seasoning mixes and things with it that we use right here. And then of course we do bag it up to sell as well.
Through the years, the Old Mill has expanded to include several shops and even 2 restaurants.
Everything that we're going to have and we're going to do today is pretty much done here.
It's done here. You can buy it here. You can buy it and we'll ship it to you, whatever you need.
That's fantastic.
So Jimmy gives me a run-of-the-mill, starting with the Old Mill Restaurant, where Chef Danielle throws down a great recipe for a Southern staple, shrimp and grits.
So we got some of our Old Mill grits, and we're adding that into some boiling chicken stock and heavy cream. Just a little pat of butter. We got some bacon, and then we're gonna go ahead and add our shrimp. This may pop on you.
That's fine. So pink is what we're looking for.
Yes. Here we're gonna go ahead and take those off the heat. I'm just gonna use a pair of tongs and we'll set those aside. We call this the Holy Trinity of Southern cooking. We got some bell peppers, some onion, celery. Now to this, we're gonna add a little bit of our house seasoning, salt, pepper, a little bit of garlic and parsley. So what we're gonna do is add a little bit of chicken stock. Just start to deglaze the pan. You hear that little whir there. And we're gonna let this boil, and what that's gonna do is activate the flour, and our sauce is instantly gonna start to thicken. So what we're gonna do next is add one of my favorite products, some Sweetwater cheddar cheese. Such a great sharp flavor, and that is gonna make our grits so deliciously creamy. So now we're gonna add these shrimp right back into the party. They'll finish cooking up, is add some lemon juice. What that's gonna do is wake up all those flavors, tie everything together, cut to all the fat that's in the dish, that butter and that bacon. Then we're gonna top that with about half of our shrimp mixture. More chopped scallions.
On top.
And we are ready.
Voila.
There we go.
All right, guys, let's dig in.
Oh, yeah. And speaking of voila, check out the artisan in the Old Mill's Pigeon River Pottery Shop. Voila indeed.
Potters have been forming vessels from clay bodies for millions of years. When nomadic man settled down and discovered fire, the firing of clay pots was not far behind. Some consider pottery as one of the oldest human inventions.
So now I'm in the mill room where I meet head miller Chuck.
Wait a minute, Brian. The old mill's great and all, but you still haven't told me how Pigeon Forge got its name.
I'm glad you re-asked me that in the middle of my visit, Nick, because, well, it all started with love.
Huh. All right, Tina Turner. What's love got to do with it?
Good one. Well, it all started with an early settler named Isaac Love, and I'm gonna let Chuck tell it.
Mr. Love, when he started the post office, he was the man that set up the post office, so if you do that, you get to name the place. So his father was running the iron forge. They had that going. Then we had these passenger pigeons that would come and roost in the trees along the river by the hundreds of thousands.
Hundreds and thousands.
Hundreds of thousands. So they put the two names together, Pigeon Forge. The name stuck. Here we are.
Now, back to the heart of the operation, the grist mill. Carry on, Chuck.
What happens is we have corn that comes down this pipe you can see here, feeds into the top, goes down into the middle. As the stones, which weigh over 2,000 pounds, rotate and grind, it shoots it out the front here. The one you see on the top is called the runner stone. It's the one that actually moves. And there's one just like it underneath it that's inverted. That's called the bed stone. It just sits there. And all we'll do is we'll send corn down these pipes into the center, goes into the spinning stone. It comes out the front, and what you get out here is your cornmeal.
At the old mill, the water wheel's not just there for show.
It powers our grain elevators. In order for us to move our grain around, we have to have power, and that's what powers the grain elevators. You can see the buckets over there in that little tube. That's the grain elevator. It moves the grain around.
After the daily grind, it's off to the sifter.
Then all you're going to do is cinch the top and then go down to the bottom and squeeze it real tight so that you make a little neck down there. Cross over like you're tying your shoe. Yep. Now go underneath it, all the way around again, and bring that in and stick it through that hole you just made. There you go. That's it. Miller's knot. Okay, good job.
You know, Brian, there's one other thing you can make with ground corn.
I'm way ahead of you, Nick. Head distiller Keener tops off my old mill visit by treating Jimmy and me to a spirit sampling from their own Old Forge distillery.
Hello, hello. Thanks for
bring
stopping
us?
and hanging with us.
Hey, thanks for having us.
A little bit of Old Forge's. Looks like it's our 8-year version, David. It's our bourbon.
All right.
Corn ground next door, rye ground next door, malted barley.
Wow, that's smooth.
Indeed.
Non-abrasive at all. Doesn't fire back at you. Goes down.
A little fruity
Yeah.
on the nose,
Yeah.
maybe a little white pepper on the finish.
What a great gang at the Old Mill, a place as great as its name.
Next up on Road Trip Masters, we let gravity take its toll.
As we sit back and roll, roll, roll.
Don't go anywhere, RTM will be right back.
Welcome back to RTM and our road trip to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee.
So we find this great outdoor place where you climb in these huge see-through spheres and go down these crazy hills.
It was a total blast.
Yeah, so how does Mr. Class start off the interview?
We heard you have the biggest balls in Pigeon Forge.
That's been said before, for sure.
I've come up with a couple others. I'm trying to get there. We got our new shirts on.
Right?
OGO. What does it mean? What's it stand for?
OGO is Outdoor Gravity Orb. It's an 11-foot ball, then it's got a 6-foot interior ball, and it's held together by like 120 nylon strings.
So we just climb in them and they roll us down the hill, right? Now, Chris, we get into these things. Am I gonna go head over heels and by the time I'm down to the bottom, I'm gonna feel sick to my stomach?
No way. It's an 11-foot ball. I put 10 gallons of water in it, up to 3 people at a time, push you down the hill.
When you said 2 to 3 people inside it, so like Nick and I can go inside together?
Sure, yep. About the shared experience just as much as it is the challenge of running down the hill.
Look, we're close.
Oh, we ain't that close. Hey, I'm saying separate cabs.
Oh, I was hoping you'd say that, be honest with you.
There's 3 different platforms at OGO.
Which means 3 different rides.
And 3 different rushes.
We have the red track, which is a funnel. It's 2 to 3 people. That's our newest attraction. We just added that last year. It's become our most popular ride. On the far side over here, we have the orange track. That's our extreme zigzag. That's 1-person ride only. And then down the middle, we've got the fast tracks where you can take the challenge and try and run the whole hill. 5 people have done it since we've opened.
Now everyone knows we're athletes.
But we'll save our strength and this time stay seated on these runs.
Hey, are we supposed to take our shirts off for this?
Some people wear their shirts as well.
I don't think the American public is ready for that, so I'm going to keep mine on.
Then you'll be fine.
I'd have to say ditto here, buddy. I ain't taking mine off and just getting fan mail. What happened to you, Nick? Why do you look like that?
Really let yourself go. I don't need that.
So we catch the OGO Express and prep for the uphill thrill.
All right, dive in head first. Nicely done.
Now it's just me and 10 cool gallons of water ready to launch. I don't know. Well, we'll see what happens.
All right, good luck.
Okay, no turning back now. All right then, let's roll. And I mean roll.
You, go, go, go.
Oh my God. Oh, yeah.
Not to be outdone, I'm also one to roll with the times.
Good dive.
I do feel like I'm in a spaceship. You know that scene in Apollo 13 right before where they tap him on? No! Yeah! No! Yeah!
And before all was said and done,
we rolled down those tracks like bowling balls, searching for pins to topple. I thought it would go a lot quicker, and you're getting pounded in that thing.
when you're inside, you're flying.
Yep, it's a fast ride. Wild, wild ride.
Absolutely, I'm drenched.
Yep, great for mom, dad, and the kid. Great for all of everyone involved. Glad you guys enjoyed it.
Thanks, Chris.
You're welcome.
Thanks so much,
Thanks
brother.
a lot. Thanks for coming.
When RTM returns,
we take a peek into the award-winning destination, Dollywood.
Stay buckled in. There's more Road Trip Masters ahead.
You're riding shotgun with Road Trip Masters on our tour of Pigeon Forge, Tennessee.
We stopped off at some great places here at Pigeon Forge.
But one of the main reasons that we're here is Sevier County's very own pride and joy, the Smoky Mountain Songbird,
the Backwoods Barbie,
the Queen of Country,
the one, the only Dolly Parton.
We meet with Pigeon Forge Department of Tourism Director, Leon. He lived here his whole life and gives us a trolley tour en route to Dollywood.
He's even said, "Hello, Dolly," on more than one occasion.
Went to high school in Sevierville, played in the Sevier County band. Wow. Yeah, so the day after she graduated from high school.
Now, why did you guys break up?
Dolly left her legacy in Pigeon Forge in the mid-1980s when she bought into the ownership of the Silver Dollar City theme park, renaming it Dollywood, and the rest, as they say, is history.
Inside Dollywood itself, there's 15 great shows and more than 40 rides.
As our trolley tour approaches Dollywood, I can't help but notice how seamlessly the park blends into its surroundings.
It is gorgeous.
Yep.
And I'll tell you what, even as massive of a construction site, Leon, you still see some of the native trees that weren't cut down. It's like they worked around them.
Exactly. Yeah, we want to preserve our trees. Again, the Smoky Mountains, that's how they got their name is...
Holy God, this thing's enormous.
And there it is, Dollywood, in all of its splendor. And then you take what she's done for the community in Pigeon Forge, incredible.
And she's an amazing woman, and again, she gives back to the community in so many ways.
So Nick, in Pigeon Forge, we checked out the old mill,
the Great Smoky Mountain National Park,
the gravity orbs,
Dollywood,
but we never got that interview with Santa.
Hey, I got one better.
How so?
Well, I talked to Dasher and Dancer, and I gave them the night off, and I introduced Santa to the caddy.
That's right. You better hope that he doesn't use it next Christmas.
I hope Rudolph don't get jealous.
Hey, we won't help.
So now it's time to break down the caddy triptych. Overall, we traveled 1,337 miles, used 111.5 gallons of fuel, and spent $273.18.
Brian, another successful road trip in the books.
I'm so sad to say it's time to go.
Hey, to the good people and places of Pigeon Forge, Tennessee,
thanks a million for your hospitality.
Till next time, I'm Nick Kessler.
And I'm Brian Fulmer. Stay curious, my friend.
Safe travels. I'm Nick Kessler, and I teach shop.
And I'm Brian Fulmer, Nick's buddy and fellow teacher.
When summer comes, we drop the lesson plans and absorb what the open road has to offer.
We hit the highways and byways and drop in on some unexpectedly fantastic places to visit for great getaways.
And we do it in style, riding in my 1968 drop-top caddy.
Our assignment is to give you an inside look on the places we go and the people we meet.
No classroom rules here.
That's right. This is Road Trip Masters.
Today on Road Trip Masters, we're cruising in the caddy and riding her on down to western North Carolina to the gem of the Carolinas, Lake Lure.
This resort community was the vision of Dr. Lucius B. Morse, who in the mid-1920s had the idea of building a dam on the Rocky Broad River to create a lake and possibly a year-round resort.
His wife, Elizabeth Parkinson, named the newly filled body of water Lake Lure.
But before we get on the highway, we need to take the caddy down to Bruce Klein's, where they perform a little pre-road trip inspection and make sure the Cooper tires are ready for the road and looking good for our trip down south.
Brian, what do you know about Lake Lure?
Not much yet, but it sounds like a great resort town.
Tell you what, they got a lot going on there as far as outdoor activities.
What kind of outdoor activities?
Well, it's on a lake, so you take a guess.
Skinny dipping!
Why am I not surprised by that answer? So we coast down to North Carolina's Hickory Nut Gorge and find ourselves at the luxurious Lake Lure Inn and Spa.
This is so far from a cookie cutter hotel that you could ever find. The architecture of the hotel is Mediterranean or Spanish-inspired architecture, partnered after Lake Como in Italy. So you see that architecture kind of repeated throughout some of the original structures in town. And the hotel is one of those original buildings that was part of the master plan from the 1920s.
There are some features that I absolutely love from old school yesteryear. I love the medicine cabinet. I love the tile floors in the bathroom. I love just the iconic presence of this whole 1927 feel.
A few specialty suites have been expanded to provide a more modern traveler a little more leisurely experience, but rooms are still true to size to the 20s, in keeping with period styling. Those classic black and white tile floors that you mentioned, statuary, architecture, antiques throughout the hotel, portrait artwork from post-Civil War up until the 1940s creates this fantastic historical aspect that people can enjoy during their stay here.
In the mid-1980s, the Lake Lure Inn was the temporary home for Johnny Castle and Baby.
Dirty Dancing was probably one of the most iconic iconic films of the latter part of the 20th century, and Patrick Swayze, Jennifer Grey, and all the cast and crew stayed here during filming of the movie over the course of 6 weeks in 1986. And to pay homage to Patrick Swayze and to Jennifer Grey, we have suites specially named after them.
Dirty Dancing suites? Sweet. I just hope they're not located at the end of the hall.
Why is that?
Because nobody puts baby in the corner.
I should have saw that one coming.
For people who live a very modern, busy life, they're always in the hustle and bustle of the city. This is that true mountain getaway.
I know my cares are really by the wayside. You really hooked us up, Nick.
Hey, not only did I hook us up once, I hooked us up again.
Wait, are you throwing me a line?
I knew you'd take the bait. We made tight lines with Captain Steve of Lake Lure Fishing Excursions. He has been at it for 3 seasons, and he schools us about the basics of catch and release bass fishing.
The thing we need to be very careful about, and anytime you go fishing, is the hooks. You know, you don't want to ever cast where the hooks are coming through the middle of the boat.
So we cast off on the pristine waters of Lake Lure.
It's like shaped like a cross, so it's deep. That's the thing. It's not a lot of acres, but it's deep. It's about 60 feet deep on average, 100 feet deep at the dam.
We're motoring along when what do we see?
Another Dirty Dancing iconic locale.
When she was practicing her moves for the big dance that they were going to do in the movie, that's what she went dancing up.
So we drop anchor and Captain Steve cast off. And just like an old salt, he hooks a white bass on his first try.
Oh, wow. There he is. He's on. Here, take
Fish
it, Brian.
on. Fish on.
I'm going to get the net here for you.
That's beautiful. We don't even have to catch him. We just pull him in.
Yeah.
Steve does all the work.
You got a good one there. Take your time. Take your time. Woohoo! Right. First fish of the day, baby. That's how we do it.
That's how Steve does it. He don't mess around.
Here. Now, I'm going to want to net him, or lip him.
There we go. Look at the coloring on that. Man. All right, 1 for 1. Keep them coming, Captain Steve.
Fish away, guys. Drop it in on either side. Count your 40 seconds.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
They're right in front of us. I see them busting the surface again. You're going to troll right through them.
We trolled all right, but fish number 2 isn't coming so quickly.
Every day it's a puzzle out here to solve. And the puzzle keeps changing each day.
Phone just vibrated. I thought I had a hit. It was my phone.
After waiting there for a long time, I remembered what Captain Steve said. He assured me of instant success.
Fish on.
Oh, big one. Big fish.
Keep reeling?
Yes, yes. Oh, yeah.
He's fighting.
Oh, yeah.
I thought I had a hit before. Oh, he's pulling down.
Let him pull drag when he does that. This is a good fish.
It's coming. It's going under the boat. I saw this on.
Oh, goodness. This is a big fish.
Here it comes.
Look at that boy.
Fish on, baby.
Nice on the popper, Nick. Good job, buddy.
Thanks, brother. Thanks.
Woo-hoo. Holy crow.
Oh. He's a big one.
Wow.
Look at that. But this is catch and release. And although they say there's plenty of fishing to see, I guess one more couldn't hurt.
He's looking. Yeah, he's ready to go. All right. When he does that, then he's ready to go.
That's how it is.
He let me know.
Buddy. Nailed it. All right.
Good job.
Thanks, buddy. That's the first largemouth bass that I caught in over 20 years. It's a shame that you didn't catch one either.
Oh, I got a bass.
No, you didn't. I was on the same boat with you.
I'm telling you, I got a bass.
Where?
Right here. I got a bass from the beer store. I think it's a smallmouth.
I know a great bass that will pair well with that. During an afternoon of fishing, you get to find out about your shipmates.
It turns out Captain Steve is a teacher just like us, who's living his dream.
I was originally gonna be a fishing guide when I retired. And then my uncle, Tom, he was also very into fishing and different things like that. He got cancer and he passed away. And so that was one thing that kind of woke me up, and I said, what am I waiting for? I've been doing it for 4 years now, and I just love it. Absolutely love it.
Steve the captain and teacher challenges us to seek our truth.
If you want to do something fun, if you want to go out there and really go after your dreams and stuff, like why are you just like sitting back or waiting till a later time? If I got a chance to do it over a summer as a teacher, I'm gonna do it.
After this pit stop,
we're back on the water and learning slalom skiing from some of the best in the business.
Then later, dinner and drinks and a hike to the Brinks. All that and more to come.
You're sitting shotgun with Road Trip Masters. Welcome back to Road Trip Masters and our tour of Lake Lure, North Carolina. Fishing isn't the only way to have fun on the lake.
Well, we better get going or we'll be left in the wake.
Lynn Carnes is a slalom water ski devotee. In fact, her enthusiasm for the sport is rather contagious.
I think it's the fountain of youth. I have found to be the most addictive sport I've ever done.
She skied on Lake Lure for several years, but the popularity of her sport on the lake was just too much for her to take.
We started getting a lot of other people addicted, and then there was too many bumps on the water, because when other boats get out there, it gets bumpy. So I discovered this phenomenon called private water ski lakes.
Simply put, Lynn didn't want to make any waves, and she didn't want anyone else to make them either.
This lake behind us used to be a Girl Scout camp, and I had a dream of turning it into a water ski lake because I wanted a private place to ski without other boats.
That's right. That old Girl Scout camp is now Mystic Waters, a private water ski lake with just one boat and one skier on the water at a time.
Somebody that doesn't have experience, can they come here and you train them?
Totally, and that's the beauty of this, is you can train out here without having anybody else coming by. You don't get washed over by another boat.
Mystic Waters is now home to Able Ski School, run by professional water skier Austin Able.
The opportunity arose to do this, and I was like, hey, instead of going out to everybody, which I've done for years, why don't we bring everyone here?
Austin and Lynn had formed a solid partnership. Austin as an instructor.
Austin's an incredible teacher, and he's great all the way from brand new beginner, never been on skis, to somebody at a very advanced level. He's had a lot of people advance a long way this year.
And Lynn as his steady hand.
I need to trust that the rope that way, that the person knows what they're doing. They have control, they have trust in me.
So it's time for a little slalom demo.
But as show host, we don't want to hog the spotlight.
Or be in body casts.
My knee and your shoulder, very few times we ever do this, but this is one time I think we should leave it to the professional.
Lynn's daughter Jen takes the first bullet.
I am a professional faller.
So now Austin's up. Did we mention that he's 6'5"?
So the taller you are, the ability to be able to reach much further and much at a wider point helps with being height.
Austin competes in the Pro Ski Tour.
Take the fastest car, Ferrari, Mercedes, anything like that. I go faster side to side. I go 0 to 80 miles per hour in about 2 seconds.
Man, that is a short rope.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Holy Louie. Austin often completes the 858-foot course in the 16-second range. Talk about your physical intensity.
15 minutes of that on the water is equivalent of an hour of a full body workout in the gym.
Really?
An hour.
Lynn and Austin sure live their passion.
That's right, boy!
I get it. Buoy.
When Road Trip Masters returns, I hit a local hotspot.
And we rock out at the largest standing rock monolith east of the Mississippi.
Don't go anywhere. RTM will be right back.
Welcome back to Road Trip Masters as our tour of Lake Lure, North Carolina continues.
Nick, we've hung out on the water long enough. I'm famished.
Hey, is this the part of the show where you go to the restaurant without me?
In these situations, I think it's best that I be the lone wolf.
Well then, carry on, White Fang.
Located in the heart of Chimney Rock Village, just west of Lake Lure, lies Medina's Village Bistro. It's where locals and tourists alike come for fresh food and delicious drinks. Bartender Josh shakes me up on a strawberry mojito.
Do fresh mint and basil, which we actually grow back here in the garden. I love it. Everything fresh in my mojitos. I do a little muddle action going on here, get a little wild and crazy today. Do a little shake and bake, boom, there it is. Fresh, 100% grown mojito.
All right, brother. On a day like this, I need that.
Can't beat it, nice and refreshing.
Tell you what, works every time. Thanks, brother.
Boom, shakalaka, you're welcome. Have a wonderful day.
All right. Inside, I meet chef and co-owner John Medina. Today, Chef John prepares beef tenderloin with chanterelle mushroom fettuccine and pork belly. First, the filet.
So we're gonna sear this on a hot char grill. This is a cherry wood smoked pork belly, which I smoked yesterday for 6 hours, low and slow, as they say. So we're gonna put that on the grill and just let it warm up a little bit. The pan is hot, so we're gonna drizzle some extra virgin olive oil, spring onions. We're just gonna sear that to a nice golden brown.
Next, we add chanterelle mushrooms.
They're delicate and they have a very mild buttery flavor. So we don't want to cook them too long. We just want to sweat them a little bit. Then we're going to deglaze our pan with a little chicken stock we made earlier. Heavy cream.
All right.
All right, now for the last ingredient, whipped butter.
Butter makes it better.
For that, we're just gonna turn it off and just let it sit while our meat finishes.
Okay.
Drizzle butter over it every time I flip. It's important. It keeps it moist, but gives it a little crisp.
A little flame.
And this is our house-made Cajun spice. Just dust it lightly. The wife's not looking, we'll throw in a little more butter.
No, she's not. But unfortunately for you, she'll see it on TV, so you're gonna get caught.
I meant olive oil.
Yeah. Chef carves up the proteins.
We're gonna go across the grain and just slice it up. And we're gonna cut that, put it right in our dish. Looking good, still rare in the middle, a little on the bloody side. And now it's time to plate. All right, so we like to get the goodies on the top. Finish it with the Cajun spice. And voila.
Tasting time. I got my drink. Josh whipped up for us a little bit. And I'm gonna start here with the pork belly. Great crunch on the bottom side. Super tender right when you bite in. When you're in Lake Lure, Chimney Rock, all you have to do is ask anybody in town where to go. They're gonna say one place, Medina's. And as one of my buddies once said, boom shakalaka.
When RTM returns,
we strut our way through the flowering bridge at Chimney Rock.
And we rock on up for a view like none other.
Stay buckled in, there's more Road Trip Masters ahead.
Welcome back to Road Trip Masters as we travel through beautiful Lake Lure, North Carolina.
You know, Nick, after a satisfying meal like the one I had at Medina's, I think it's time for us to simply relax, take a moment, and smell the roses.
Where do you want to do that at?
Where else? The Lake Lure Flowering Bridge.
In 2011, the 1925 historic Rocky Broad River Bridge was closed to traffic.
But by the fall of 2013, the Lake Lure Flowering Bridge was open to the public.
That's right. Local volunteers came together to create the gardens on the bridge and along the pathway at both ends of the 3-arch span.
With an emphasis on native plants, the Friends' mission is to create a gateway to somewhere beautiful. Kathy is the Flowering Bridge spokesperson.
When we were designing the gardens on the bridge, we knew we couldn't have a cohesive garden that you might see in 12 different planters, so we actually have themed gardens.
With several different gardens, this bridge is a botanical bonanza.
We think we have about 1,500 to 2,000 different varieties.
20 or so volunteers help keep these grounds finely groomed.
After seeing so much beautiful botany, the experience almost seemed, well, should I say, priceless?
You should, and you can say that.
Because the best part is, it's free. And get this, it's open 24 hours a day, all year round. There's even a cell phone audio tour that provides a ton of information, such as a sensory trail that describes specific plants that you can smell, touch, and even taste. But we couldn't thank Kathy enough for guiding us through this natural wonderment.
But we almost left one stone unturned.
Hey, that's right. To the top of Chimney Rock it is.
Right now, we're about 1,000 feet up above sea level. When you get to the top of the chimney, it's 2,280 feet. It's 499 steps to get to the top.
499.
Yes.
You would think they would have gave it a go and just made it even 500.
Yeah, one more step.
Or maybe somebody miscounted.
Well, maybe. You guys will have to see today. It's all mental. We kept it under 500 because 500 seems like a challenge. 499, anyone can do that.
Doing the old $199 price reduction, I'd say. All right, good tactic, good tactic.
So we climb up a staircase.
And another.
And another.
And yet another.
We climbed up so many staircases, even our cameraman conked out on us.
Hi, buddy. Hi, buddy. Now on camera duty.
But Brian and I persevered, like true road trip masters. So we then decided to take a 3/4 of a mile hike to Hickory Nut Falls, which is the second highest waterfall east of the Mississippi, standing proud at 404 feet. The falls also served as a backdrop for several scenes in the movie Last of the Mohicans. Just looking up at its natural, majestic splendor makes you want to splash its cool mountain water on your arms to get a break from a hot summer's day. While we were soaking up the mountain mist, a little birdie told us to go from Hickory Nut Falls to Hickory Nut Gorge Brewery, where it's craft beer in the gorge. Located on the banks of the Rocky Broad River in Chimney Rock, it has 4 decks that go all the way down to the water's edge, where Brian and I enjoyed some of their brews. We could have stayed there all day, but we remembered that we had a date with our water ski friend Lynn Carnes and her husband Russ for a sunset cruise on Lake Lure. What a perfect way to end our stay here in this beautiful area. Just look at that incredible sunset. So now it's time to break down the Caddy Triptych. Overall, we traveled 1,485 miles, used 124 gallons in fuel, and spent $308.76.
Brian, another successful road trip in the books.
I'm so sad to say it's time to go.
To the good people and places of Lake Lure, North Carolina.
Thanks a million. There's no place finer.
Till next time, I'm Nick Kessler.
And I'm Brian Fulmer. Stay curious, my friends.
Safe travels.
I'm Nick Kessler, and I teach shop.
And I'm Brian Fulmer, Nick's buddy and fellow teacher.
When summer comes, we drop the lesson plans and absorb what the open road has to offer.
We hit the highways and byways and drop in on some unexpectedly fantastic places to visit for great getaways.
And we do it in style, riding in my 1968 drop-top Caddy.
Our assignment is to give you an inside look on the places we go and the people we meet.
No classroom rules here.
That's right. This is Road Trip Masters.
Today on Road Trip Masters, we're roaming to Rome. Rome, Georgia, that is.
That's right. Rome is in Upper West Georgia, 70 miles northwest of Atlanta.
And as the locals say, it's where the rivers meet and the mountains begin. Now, it's quite a trek to the Peach State from our home base in Lehigh Valley, PA. So before we head to Rome, the Caddy needs an oil change, where Bruce injects new lifeblood in her for the journey. After all, keeping the Caddy lubricated is the key to her longevity. And to seal the deal on this road trip, we need to make sure the Cooper tires are properly aligned and inflated, so we're riding smooth to our good friends in the South. Now, I'm not gonna lie, but the trip down here seemed a little rough.
Little rough? Heck, I had smoother rides on ATVs, gravity orbs, even a circus trapeze.
Hey, point well taken, but something just doesn't seem right with the Caddy. But we had a road trip to run, so we thankfully arrived at the Hawthorne Suites by Wyndham Rome. This hotel occupies the old Batty Machinery Building.
which was originally built alongside of the river.
Mm-hmm.
That was used to repair all the steamboat engines, to sell those engines, and then some cotton gin equipment and stuff that they sold up and down the river as well.
In the 1980s, the building was converted into apartments and retail space. And in 2004, local businessman Ira Levy repurposed it into a hotel.
He is really big on the historic preservation of a lot of the buildings here locally in Rome, and that's his passion. One of our mottos here is historic charm meets modern amenities.
The integrity of the old building is indeed authentic.
It used to, you would say, well, don't scratch my wood floors. Well, nowadays, these scratches and these wood floors is what makes it.
The heart pine wood floors bring you in touch with the past. That is, until you get to the suites.
We've got about 13 different room types here. We have our loft suites, which are the split level rooms. We also have the new doubles that's on the river. They're huge rooms with 14-foot high ceilings, 24-foot wide, with a balcony that overlooks the river as well. We've won numerous awards. We've won Hotel of the Year for 4 years within the Wyndham brand. But not every Hawthorne is like this. We're certainly a one of a kind.
And as far as location goes, this place can't be beat.
You just walk right across our little entranceway and you're downtown Broad Street. It's a very historic city in its own. There's all kind of restaurants there, all kinds of little boutique shops right here within walking distance.
And if you really want to savor those antique floors, just follow them up to Hawthorne's own pub off Broad.
It's cozy.
Right.
It's really comfortable. It's almost like sitting in your living room and, having company over to have a drink with you.
So Brian and I, we were to meet up at Off Broad later that afternoon. But I showed up a bit early. And Marty turns me on to a Rusty Roy, a Rusty Nail Rob Roy hybrid.
We start out with a little bit of Dewar's.
All right. A little sweet vermouth. And then you're going to finish it with?
Half ounce Drambuie.
A little Drambuie in there. So pretty, Marty, straight up and simple. Scotch, Drambuie, and sweet vermouth. Yeah. And they're smooth. You can't even taste. Well, you taste the liquor, but you know what I mean? There's no harshness down your throat.
I've been fooling with liquor for 30-something years.
Since you were running late, I ordered you a woo-woo.
A woo-woo?
Woo-hoo! So you got peach vodka, ounce and a half. And there's the schnapps.
Not quite 2 ounces.
Marty, the woo-woo is smooth. You have 2 smooth drinks right here.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Hey, did you see my room?
No, I did. Hey, that's what I got you. And you know what? I was just about to drink this until you showed
I
up.
hope you didn't have any. Marty, did he have any of it?
Nope.
Another successful road trip.
Can't believe the caddy made it.
Oh, God, every time a wing and a prayer.
So after that delectable libation, I needed to know where I could get the best burger in town. That's when I went to Harvest Moon Cafe, and chefs Michael and Moises introduced me to the Red-Headed Stranger, named after country music and all-around legend Willie Nelson.
It's a signature dish here. It's got an 8-ounce certified Angus beef patty.
Certified.
Certified.
All right, hey, Mo, you're the main man. You're the grill master.
Let's do it.
All right, pop that baby on, and we'll get started.
Little salt and pepper, both sides. 100% Angus beef. We're gonna break it down. So we got our bun. It's a house-made bun.
You have your own baker on staff, correct?
That is correct.
Oh, nice crisscross, Mo.
Yeah, have to. Well, we have a nice bun here.
Our house-made Wicked Pimento cheese, which is our pimento cheese. It's actually made in a kitchen down the street. And that sole purpose of that kitchen is making this product, which has become extremely popular. Candied jalapenos, which are made exclusively for us. Applewood smoked bacon. Gonna have onion straws.
Those unique ingredients on a half-pound certified Angus beef with my man Mo on the grill? Are you kidding me?
And voila.
There it is.
A little pickle, cold beer. What else you want?
Got that right, cold beer?
Beautiful.
Absolutely. And now, the moment of truth. Let's see if Willie Nelson really knew what he was talking about. Fantastic. When in Rome, Georgia, you gotta go down that beautiful Broad Street and stop in the Harvest Moon Cafe. You'll love it. After this pit stop, we go underground in search of old Rome.
And my nerves get shot as we balance our way along Rome's 3 rivers.
Then later, we learn to expect the unexpected.
As the caddy gets a bad break, All that and more to come.
You're sitting shotgun with Road Trip Masters. Welcome back to Road Trip Masters as we go roaming through Rome, Georgia.
Hey Brian, did you know in the late 1800s, Rome was hit by a great flood that crested at over 40 feet?
Wow, can you imagine the havoc that created?
By the end of the 19th century, they rebuilt the downtown and raised it 15 feet.
How long did that take?
Well, let's just say Rome wasn't rebuilt in a day. Ann of the Office of Tourism takes Brian and me on a personally guided subterranean journey below the 200 block of Broad Street.
The flood in 1886 really brought to light that we needed to raise the street level of Broad Street. So anywhere from 8 to 15 feet from 1st Avenue to 5th Avenue, they've raised the grade.
So they literally put brick right on top of that grade system.
That's correct.
And raised everything up.
That's correct. You can tell where the floor was originally.
Yes.
And then it's been raised.
And you can see where it's notched out for every floor joist.
About every 16 inches.
Fulmer, I think you're right, buddy, and it goes down the whole length of the walls.
Together we marched to Mitchell Plaza and noticed what were once archways. I heard of raising the roof before, but not raising the floor.
And right here you can see the top of the archway of a window. That used to be a first floor, right?
That's right. So this is great when people are walking around town to look for this, and they can see that actually where the road is, where it's been filled in, and right beneath here is what was a window.
And just look at that date. This was no April Fool's joke.
If you can put this in your mind, from the river right down there, the high water mark, 40.29 feet.
But we're not through yet. Ann takes us further down, this time to the 300 block of Broad Street, where she also has a personal history.
We used to have a shop in this building, and my girls always speculated that this was the front door that came into the shop originally.
This is the original foundation.
Absolutely it is.
And look how level it is.
Well, you know what, Brian? Back then, they had more talent with less.
I was getting claustrophobic from being underground so long. I needed to get out. So I thought, hey, when in Rome, do what the Romans do.
And we walked down the road a little bit, and what do we find?
Paddle boarding. It's as easy as walking on water.
Oh, that's right, Jesus.
Hey, remember, you're the one with the long hair.
Mike and Connie Sams run the River Dog Outpost. Mike, what do we got? Wait, hold on, you're a long-haired guy, right?
Absolutely.
All right, hold on, put my hair down now.
We rent boards and sell boards out of our paddleboard shop. We're unique to have 3 rivers right here in downtown Rome, so it's very convenient for us. And also we've got a beer garden right next to the paddleboard shop. The paddleboard shop's inside the beer garden now, so even more convenient.
I never paddleboard in my life. So what kind of experience level do you need to enjoy the sport?
No experience at all is necessary, really. We teach people how to paddle. We always tell people paddle is the main thing, the main objective, so you can get upriver, turn around and come back, have a good time. But it's really all on the balance and all about enjoying the sport and enjoying the water while you're out there as well.
So how did this business get its name, you ask? Well, after a dog, of course.
We ended up fostering him in the beginning, but then one day Mike decided we ought to adopt him. And we named him River, and then he's the namesake of everything you see here.
River isn't shy to get on the river either.
Hey, it's easy for him. He's got 4 legs. I get nervous about this whole paddleboard balance thing.
Come on, Nick. Nobody gets bored when they paddleboard.
All right, let's roll. Or should I say, let's paddle.
I'm lost it. That zip line where we were 600 feet and 3,500 feet across, no worries. Here, for some reason, I have a lot of anxiety. I don't know what the hell it is. I don't know, I'm so worked up on this thing.
Start bending down, one foot out. Perfect.
I like it much better like this.
I was thinking about doing this.
I've done a lot of things in my life, but for some reason, paddleboarding gave me the most stress. I don't know what it was.
We did it, big buddy. We did it.
Oh. Now, time for a beer, buddy.
When Road Trip Masters returns, we climb up Lavender Mountain to see Berry College's House of Dreams.
But then the caddy gives us a nightmare.
Don't go anywhere. RTM will be right back. Welcome back to Road Trip Masters. We're in Rome, Georgia, and it's somewhat of a struggle just getting here.
But so far, so good.
However, we're about to visit a local treasure with a rich history situated at the top of Lavender Mountain.
Oh boy, let's keep our fingers crossed on this one.
Berry College opened in 1926, but educator, philanthropist, and founder Martha Berry had been teaching on Lavender Mountain since the late 1800s. 2.5 decades later, her students gave her a gift she'd never forget, the House of Dreams. I'll let Tim take it from here.
It was designed by an architects named Coolidge and Carlson, and they designed most of the buildings on campus during that time. This was built in 1926 as a retreat for Martha Berry to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the schools. And so all the materials came from the mountain. It was built by students and staff members at Berry, and has been one of the most treasured sites on Berry's campus ever since.
Miss Berry inspired her students, inside and outside the classroom, up until her death in the early 1940s. Between the faculty houses and the classroom buildings, approximately 50 structures were built by students up through the 1940s. Even today, full-time students are guaranteed an on-campus job during the fall and spring semesters.
Well, part of what Martha Berry was trying to do was to teach the kids not just how to read and write, but also skills that they could take back to their communities.
There's a paradox here at lush Berry College.
They say it is the largest contiguous college campus in the world, that in one spot, that we have an entire mountain as part of our campus.
The largest college campus, yet there's approximately just 2,200 students here.
So we have small student enrollment, but one of the largest college campuses in the world.
They have a lot of freedom to move, for sure.
Just over from the House of Dreams stands the tower, also built by students. It commands a superb view of the campus, the reservoir, and the city of Rome itself.
It was a fire tower, and it actually functioned as in the local fire department used this to spot fires in the region for up until the 50s, I believe.
That's incredible. Can we get up there?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's go up, check it out.
Okay.
Get the stonework. Amazing. Can't believe kids did something like this. I'm calling them kids. Way the windows notched out here. Very, very reflective of your lighthouses.
I'll admit, with my long blonde hair, I kind of felt like Rapunzel. You know, me being a shop teacher, I still can't get over the skill and craftsmanship that these students possessed when building this tower. Inspired as they may have been, those students just didn't go at it building the campus willy-nilly. They were mentors aplenty. In fact, one of the most important woodworkers of the late 1920s taught at Berry College. His name was Franklin Gottschall. He designed furniture and ran the ironworks on campus. Tim then reminds me that the students didn't do it all on their own.
So the buildings were designed by true architects, but then they were built by the students.
Absolutely amazing. Tim, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Well, apparently not a tough enough break.
Will you give me a break?
Who, you or the caddy?
We did it. It's official. The caddy lost its brakes.
Yes, it did. Even Bruce couldn't help.
Did you try pumping the brake pedal a couple times?
I did.
Well, let me ask you a question. If you were on a mountain, did you overheat the brakes?
No, we were just going up it. We haven't come down it.
Something happened there.
Yeah, we definitely got something going on there because...
Yeah, you got something going on. You shouldn't have a soft pedal. Get it to a garage now.
Yep. All right.
So the tow truck arrives, but the parking brake is locked, and we can't even get it up on the flatbed. Then I remembered.
The auto graveyard?
Hey, it's got an owner's manual.
You still have the owner's manual?
A wise man once told me, when all else fails, defer to a 49-year-old booklet.
We got to start it up and then I'll put it in park. You rolling?
Yeah, you're good. You're
There
clear.
you go.
We're clear.
Clear now?
Yep.
Manual release level activated.
All right. Let's see what we can do there.
After this break on Road Trip Masters, where's Caddy headed and how we gonna get her home?
Haha, don't worry, Brian. We'll hook up with my brother. Maybe he can help us figure it out.
Stay buckled in. There's more Road Trip Masters just down the road.
Welcome back to Road Trip Masters. We're in Rome, Georgia.
Where the, okay, get ready for this, the Coosa, Etowah, and Oostanala converge.
Well done,
How do you
my
like
friend.
those rivers?
Beautiful, but I don't want to hear anything about rivers because we're up a creek. The caddy's gone and we're not sure what's wrong with her. But as fate would have it, my brother Tom is in town and we made a date at the Rome City Brewing Company. That's where Brian and I caught up with owner Jay and brewmaster Dr. Trent to treat us to a flight of their finest.
Kind of started as a hobby. Jay's had this restaurant for a while. Home brewing was a hobby of mine, and I said to him, hey, what do you think about brewing in your place? And he said, that's great. And about 2 days later, it was in the newspaper, and before I ever had a chance to really think twice about it, everybody's coming up to me and saying, hey, I hear you're opening a brewery.
I'd hook him when I had him. I had a surgeon, home brewer.
Well, what do you mean, a surgeon?
Well, he's a vascular surgeon, dude. Like he's.
This is true?
That's true.
Yeah, real deal, man.
I keep my days light in the office on days I'm making beer, but.
So the gang's all here.
Let's take flight.
This is our strawberry blonde here.
I like strawberry blonde.
Kind of like my hair color.
Right, exactly.
Strawberry blonde.
This is our Big Mama's Peach.
Big Mama's Peach.
We
we're
have
the fruit beers here.
That's
right
that's our Hefeweizen recipe. Peggy Sneed in 1944 opened a house of ill repute. Everybody in town went there, whether they admitted it or not, and so we thought we'd honor Miss Sneed and name a beer after her.
So I would say so far, everyone that I tasted, I think that's a good way to put it.
A great
smooth.
balance.
Very
balance,
smooth and
yep.
non-aggressive, and people sometimes get over-invested of what they're brewing and think more is better, and it really isn't.
No. To be honest
it's
with
balance.
You know, some of those beers like that, the IPAs are very perfumey.
Right.
This is just perfect.
Yeah, thank you.
I really
I
enjoy
agree
it.
with
This
that.
is good.
You know what you always say, Tom, you don't want a bottle of Chanel No. 5.
No. Too many of those. Some of those.
After a flight like that, we're ready to land.
Because when you come into Rome, it is classic Americana. You have that broad street.
Oh, beautiful broad
And you have everything right there. And now you have a brewery.
Right.
And everything's really within walking distance.
Well, you know what? That's the best part, because we can walk right back to the hotel tonight.
Well, that's true.
That's exactly right.
Boys, thanks so much for ending a stressful day for us.
Absolutely. Great, brother.
Dropping by, guys. Good to meet you.
Doctor,
Doctor.
All right, hey, we got nothing to cheers but empty glasses.
Oh, no, cheers.
Hey.
There you go.
Fill back up, take 2.
So after a short walk back to the hotel and a long nap, we had to get the caddy back on the road and pick her up at the shop. Hey, Brian, you know what was wrong with the brakes?
Time and distance?
No. It was a bad master cylinder, original to the caddy, 50 years old. And now, I think I'll use it as a pencil holder on my shop desk at school. And a special thank you to Clay, Jimmy, and the boys at Captain Tire and Auto. They hooked us up in record time so we could get back on the road to the Keystone State. We couldn't thank them enough for turning this tragic day into a celebration. So now it's time to break down the Caddy Triptych. Overall, we traveled 1,689 miles, used 141 gallons of fuel, costing us $365.19. Brian, another successful, yet slightly stressful road trip in the books.
I'm so sad to say it's time to go.
To the good people and places of Rome.
Thanks a million. It felt like home.
Until next time, I'm Nick Kessler.
And I'm Brian Fulmer. Stay curious, my friends.
Safe travels. I'm Nick Kessler, and I teach shop.
And I'm Brian Fulmer, Nick's buddy and fellow teacher.
When summer comes, we drop the lesson plans and absorb what the open road has to offer.
We hit the highways and byways and drop in on some unexpectedly fantastic places to visit for great getaways.
And we do it in style, riding in my 1968 drop-top caddy.
Our assignment is to give you an inside look on the places we go and the people we meet.
No classroom rules here.
That's right. This is Road Trip Masters.
This week is the last road trip of the season, so we're climbing in the caddy and taking her to a place we call home, Lehigh Valley, PA.
Located just south of the Pocono Mountains, it's about 70 miles north of Philadelphia and west of New York City.
Nick, after being on the road for so long, it's great to be back home.
You know what? I can't believe all the great places that we visited.
And the people we met.
Coming back home makes you truly appreciate all the hidden gems that exist in the Lehigh Valley.
Like the Sayre Mansion. You check out the rooms, and I'll check out the grounds.
So I step inside the historic Sayre Mansion and Inn, located in the Fountain Hill section of Bethlehem, PA, to meet up with owner and caretaker Grant.
Robert Sayre built this house for he and his 12 children. He also outlived 4 wives on this property. But it was built large. There was also quarters for staff here.
In all, this historic mansion boasts 22 uniquely situated guest rooms and suites.
The entire first floor is original as he built it in 1858. So the living room is a formal living room for receptions. That's where they held the original church services. The carved fretwork is all from Bethlehem Ironworks. We do a wine tasting out of the wine cellar from 1858 that Mr. Sayre had.
So who exactly was Robert H. Sayre?
He was the first industrialist to locate in South Bethlehem. He wanted to oversee his factories, Bethlehem Ironworks, which of course became Bethlehem Steel.
He was indeed one of Bethlehem's founding fathers with a passion for philanthropy.
He was a founder of St. Luke's Hospital. He founded the Opera in Bethlehem, Bishop Thorpe School for Girls, the First Nativity Episcopal Church. So he was really involved in the social fabric as well as the industrial and architectural fabric of the city of Bethlehem.
And one of the eye-catching characteristics of the mansion is Mr. Sayre's famed library.
He put an addition on in 1897 to house his library collection, which was the largest library collection, or one of the largest in the eastern United States.
And directly above the library is where we had our chat.
We converted it into a suite bedroom for special guests. This very often is used by the bride and groom when we have weddings.
Grant and his wife Jeannie have owned the mansion since 2002.
Now we're a member of Historic Hotels of America. We're members of Select Registry Distinguished Inns of North America.
And it's because of people like you that rescue these buildings, repurpose it, and thankfully, now we have this jewel right here in the Lehigh Valley. You know what, Brian? Right behind us, Bethlehem Steel and Arts Quest.
You're right, and just a short walk away, Music Fest, the largest music festival in our area.
That's right. Bethlehem's annual Grand Jamboree for more than 34 years. I started my feast off at the Couch Potato, a food truck from Hellertown, PA. This truck is owner William's passion.
Truck is actually a U.S. postal truck. We purchased it. We saved up all our money every single year for 10 years. So we actually are bringing Ecuadorian cuisine to the public. Thankfully, everything that we have on our truck is freshly made every single day.
William turns me on to an Ecuadorian staple.
We make what we call our fried mashed potatoes. Sell that with a fried egg, as well as top it with a red onion salad.
Listen, I heard these are all your mother's recipes.
Oh yeah, Mom Dukes, he's the one.
Tell you what, William, I don't know how you're not several hundred pounds with your mom cooking like this. You're as skinny as a string bean, buddy.
Oh yeah, that's why everybody tells us the same thing. You guys eat like this at home? Yes, this is basically Mom's cooking. There's no better way to go.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you so much.
That's excellent.
Next, it's Harvest Specialty Catering from Central New Jersey for their signature lobster mac and cheese.
We mix that with our cheeses, our pasta, and our spices here on site, and we're cooking everything fresh right at the festival. 5 or 6 years ago, we had a slightly different recipe, and she tweaked it. And ever since she did, it's been the big hit that we have now.
There you go. How's it going?
The verdict.
I'll tell you what, the verdict is this. It's perfect comfort food. You know, you hit that homemade mac and cheese taste, and then the extra bonus at the end is that lobster.
So it's off to the next food truck. It's time to succumb to a sweet treat at Pies to Die For, where Anthony had the vision to come up with a unique twist on an American classic.
Very difficult.
when people are holding a glass of wine, to also have a slice of pie and a plate and a fork. You know, they're not putting that wine glass down, and that's where pie and the cone came from.
And the conveniently thin waffle cone doesn't compromise the pie's taste.
But this seems like such an obvious idea.
It is.
Why didn't I think of this?
Well, it is, and you know what? I think it really is the concept of having great homemade pie.
Me? I'm a cherry pie guy. When RTM returns, Brian and I have an old score to settle. And later, we rock out at a place where it all started.
All that and more
when Road Trip Masters returns. Welcome back to Road Trip Masters. Brian and I are off to Lehigh Valley Sporting Clays. Why, you ask?
Well, Nick, you brought me here.
Absolutely, you know why? Rematch. From last season, season 1 up at Lake Placid, you got me by 1 target and 1 target only.
I felt I crushed you.
Well, you did. Anyway, we're here to shoot shotguns. We're here to shoot clay targets. You ready for this rematch?
I'm ready for a new experience, and I'm going to give it a go. Let the games begin.
Let's go, buddy.
I'm nervous. I never shot something like this. I don't know which one I'm shooting, but a little intimidating at first.
Bill, I've been here before, but give Brian the lay of the land here.
Sure. Brian, you're going to be in for a real treat today.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, all the background noise, you hear all the shots. We're going to be shooting sporting clays, which are going to get thrown from different stations, and we call it golf with a shotgun. It's basically, think about a golf course and you go from location to location, and each location I'm going to shoot 6 to 8 clay targets. Today we're fully automated. We're using wireless technology to talk from the shooting station to the traps. We have over 120 traps out there in the field. They're all battery operated. Some of them have solar panels on them. And then we have RFID cards that go into the station that energize the traps.
So we go to our first of 5 stations. We'll be shooting on the former grounds of Lehigh Portland Cement Company. Brian, you ready to start this showdown?
Yes,
let's do it.
Let's go.
Good luck, buddy.
Before I get going, Bill teaches me a thing or two about safety.
This is your safety.
All right.
Your right hand's going to go on the stock here.
Okay.
And you always keep your finger outside the trigger guard till you're ready to pull the trigger.
Sure. Pull! Wow. Holy. Oh.
The old man's Winchester.
Pull!
Take your body and bring your hips back and lean forward into it.
I don't get any pointers. I get nothing. That Bill's helping him every step of the way.
We want our first timers to be happy.
All right, pick that one right off. Bill keeps helping him. This is cheating now.
So Brian, what you want to do on these is that one that's coming at you, you want to shoot it at the top where it just about stops.
Okay.
And then just shoot underneath it a little bit.
Okay.
Hips back, shoulders forward.
Oh yeah,
Perfect.
4 for 7.
Good pair. Good shooting.
I'll tell you what, putting your hips and don't makes you feel like you're more in the driver's seat.
Exactly. When you shoot a rifle back like this, because you want to anchor yourself, but with a shotgun, you need the elasticity of your waist to swing.
Yeah.
And being weight forward is I've got about 70% of my weight on the front of my left foot.
It's time to put this thing to bed. Gotta distance myself.
Got it.
Pull! Ah, you son of a beeswax. Now he's got my dad's gun, and he just cursed it.
I set the jinx on.
Here's the deal. You can shoot the orange, which is the most difficult.
Well, you know, it's about time we challenge ourselves.
We're athletes, Bill.
That's right. We're gunsmen. I don't even know if that's a term. I missed both of those?
Yeah. This is where I catch up.
It peeks out up there.
Way up top.
Shoot it down here around 7 o'clock.
Okay.
So you want to be to the right, below it. And
I
this
never
one
got
here is
that
the same
advice.
way. You're going to be way
I
under
never
it
got
and to
that.
the right.
All right, Brian, last station.
Came down to this,
the rabbit station.
The rascally rabbits.
Those wascally wabbits. I tell you what, it's close though.
Yeah.
You've got some long hair here. You may be pulling it out after this.
Listen, I don't have a personal trainer coach like somebody does, but I'm going to lead each pigeon target by 3 inches with my bead.
Please do that. Exactly 3 inches. Lead each one.
I have this little feeling that Bill was up to something because he was way too quick to agree with me.
I don't know, Nick. You're a little over that one.
Oh! Did I hit the first one?
Not even close.
This is bull crap. Halt!
Oh,
there's the other one.
Now I got my groove.
Excuses, excuses.
The hell is it? Damn it, don't do this to me.
Oh, you got that one.
Brian, you got to get 4 out of 6 to beat me, buddy.
I like my chances, but I'm calling a timeout, and I'm bringing in the substitute.
Why?
Yep. Coach is going to take the last 6 for me.
You got it.
I've been had.
There's 2 of your 4.
I didn't see it.
Wait a minute. I signed up to shoot against Brian, not Wild Bill Hickok. No substitutions. Brian, get your gun.
So did you see how I shot those?
Oh, yeah.
Do the same thing. Okay? With rabbits, you want to shoot below them so the shot slides up into the target. Don't shoot at them.
Okay.
When RTM returns, will Brian make his shots or will he crumble under the pressure?
And we go wild turkey.
Then we go back to where it all began.
You're watching RTM. Don't go away.
Welcome back to Road Trip Masters. Brian needs 4 shots to beat me. Haha, only 4. Will he do it? I don't think so.
Faster.
1 for 2.
All right.
Needs 3.
Yeah!
All right.
It's coming down to the last pair. Get there! Almost buddies dead.
You gotta be kidding me.
I don't believe it. You nailed it.
Guess it's like they always say, coaching, you need it.
Oh, I loved it. I thought it was a great experience, and it's a social experience. It gives you opportunity to hang out, and it's fun. It's great fun.
It is. It's good, safe fun, and for the whole family. Yeah.
Thanks, Tom.
You're welcome. Anytime. Thank you, guys.
Even in the perils of defeat, I still had a great time.
You may have got me this time, Brian, but both of us being athletes,
the competition is always on. Hey, Nick, you know there's nearly 300 farms in the Lehigh Valley? 286 to be exact.
Hey, I know. My grandmother's farm was part of that 286, but it doesn't even compare to the farm that we're gonna see, the Jandal family farm.
Does that mean we're gonna start talking turkey?
Brian. Dave Jandal is the 3rd generation owner of Jandal Turkey Farms in Orfield, PA. It all began in the mid-1930s with Dave's father and grandfather.
My grandfather, at the fair in Lancaster County, bought my dad 5 turkeys and bought my aunt, my dad's sister, 5 ducks, and the ducks died. So turkeys.
There you go.
Back in the early 40s, Dave's father and grandfather grew the farm to approximately 1,200 turkeys per year.
However, Fred Jandal took the business to the next level and beyond.
In '65, when my dad bought my grandfather out, it was 200,000, and today, this past year, we grew 825,000. We have 13,000 acres between all our family entities, and we grow corn and soybeans predominantly. We grow the soybeans as the protein component of the turkey's diet, and the corn is the main component in the diet. The turkey will eat 3 pounds of feed to produce 1 pound of dressed meat.
Many millions of turkeys later have given Jandal Farms the opportunity to cross into other ventures.
The turkey operation is the foundation of everything we do. They have about 40 projects going today in the Lehigh Valley, and about 2.5 years ago we acquired the A-Treat Soda Company.
A-Treat is a local favorite, and I love that sarsaparilla.
And it was originally manufactured, bottled in Allentown, correct?
It was manufactured on Union Street in Allentown, and this year is its 100th anniversary.
The Jandal family is not only about turkeys and soda. Strong moral values are in the Jandal lineage.
My mother taught us all that giving back to the community that we service is extremely important.
In addition to contributing to the growth of the Parkland School District and the Jandal Pavilion at the Lehigh Valley Hospital, they've taken on other special interests.
We've got involved in the startup of the Miracle League of the Lehigh Valley, which is a baseball field for the mentally and physically challenged children in the valley, and where 300 kids play each year.
And as Dave takes us on tour of Jandal's newly completed headquarters.
This is our historical hall here of the operation. We got trophies that my dad and grandfather won Best Dressed Turkey.
We run into a familiar family face.
My daughter Joanna.
Hey guys, how are you?
Oh, well.
My former teachers?
Absolutely.
Joanna Jandal was a former student of mine.
Joanna's older brother, Luke, spent this past year paying it forward.
This past year, he was nominated for Man of the Year for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. We decided to come up with a new event this year called Festival on the Farm and 5K, which benefits Leukemia and Lymphoma Society.
How much money were you able to raise?
We raised a total of $329,000.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
it's
fantastic.
pretty great. Yeah, my brother actually ended up winning Man of the Year, and he went on nationally for Man of the Year too. He was runner-up.
Such a noble charity. But now, let's talk turkey.
That's right. It's time to meet the stars of the show, the Tom.
This is a Tom turkey pen. They're about 50 weeks old, about 45 pounds, 50 pounds.
It's like a classroom, so if I stop right here and say, class, listen up, they listen.
Nick, you really had those turkeys' attention.
I just wish our students would laugh at our jokes like those turkeys did.
Hey guys, did anybody watch our show?
Turkeys are super curious birds. They're really curious, so any type of motion, animals, humans walking by, lights, anything, they're all gonna drift towards wherever we're moving, so they're gonna follow us.
This is a tom turkey, and there's about 2,000 toms in this barn that service about 20,000 eggs.
Since 1962, Jandal Farms has sent 2 grand champion turkeys to the White House each Thanksgiving.
Thanks for everything you've done in the community. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for coming out. Really appreciate having you.
Absolutely, it
Take
was
care.
a pleasure. I think there's one thing left to do.
Here's to you.
Here's to you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Still ahead on Road Trip Masters.
We go back to our roots.
That's right, the place where it all began.
Stay buckled up. RTM will be right back.
Welcome back to Road Trip Masters.
You know, Brian, we had a lot of fun this season out on the open road, discovering many overlooked places.
Yes, but it would have never happened if we didn't start at home first.
You're right. Back when we had a local TV show called The Steel, the very first episode was shot at the Leather Corner Post.
Hey, let's go back and rock our roots.
Haha, I thought you'd never ask.
So I got a band called Romeo Vegas, and we play at the Leather Corner Post throughout the year, and the food is spot on. My favorite is the grilled chicken quesadilla. I order it every time I play there, but you can't ignore a great burger. My favorite is the Weisenburger. Thick, juicy, and packed with a ton of flavor. Then it's time to head upstairs and get ready for the stage. Time to rock. And that's when Brian walked up to kick things off.
Tonight, we're celebrating our final episodes for Season 2 on national TV.
It's great to be back home rocking with Romeo Vegas and my buddies, and entertaining the people. But what makes this gig even more special is sharing the stage with my son Chris and watching him develop into a fine young musician.
So let's recap the highlights of our summer-long road trip.
We traveled to Catskills, New York,
Brattleboro and Rutland, Vermont,
Ashtabula County, Ohio,
Morgantown, West Virginia,
Williamsburg, Virginia,
Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, Lake Lord, North Carolina, and Rome, Georgia.
Then back home where it all began, in Pennsylvania's Lehigh Valley.
That's a ton of miles. God, I love this caddy.
So now it's time to break down the Caddy Triptych this season. Overall, we traveled 8,801 miles, used 685 gallons of fuel, and spent $1,951.76.
We met a lot of wonderful people during this season of RTM, but something that Captain Steve said from Lake Lore really stuck with us. And we'd like to leave you with his words of wisdom.
And if you want to go out there and really go after your dreams and stuff, like why are you just like sitting back or waiting till a later time? If I got a chance to do it over a summer as a teacher, I'm going to do it.
Steve is right. And as the saying goes, all good things must come to an end. As we put the caddy to bed to rest up for future road trips. To you, our passengers, we couldn't do it without you.
Until we meet again on those lonesome highways, I'm Nick Kessler.
And I'm Brian Fulmer. Stay curious, my friends.
Safe travels.